Biker gang leader noticed the waitress's bruises. What he did next shocked the whole town. The sound of roaring motorcycles filled the small-town diner's parking lot as everyone inside froze in fear. The Steel Wolves biker gang had arrived, known for their rough looks, tattoos, and reputation that sent chills down spines. But tonight, the leader, Ryder Black, noticed something that made his hardened heart skip a beat. The young waitress, Emma, who always served with a shy smile, had faint purple bruises on her arms, and she was trying desperately to hide them. Ryder's eyes narrowed. He wasn't the kind of man who ignored pain, especially in someone so innocent. What he did next wasn't just unexpected. It changed the entire town's opinion of the so-called monsters forever. That it was a stormy evening, and the Steel Wolves had stopped by the roadside diner after a long ride. Locals whispered nervously as the gang entered, leather jackets soaked in rain, boots thudding against the floor. The waitress, Emma, approached with trembling hands, trying to keep her smile steady. Ryder, the gang's leader, noticed every detail, the way her hands shook, the faint red mark near her wrist, and the quick glance she gave toward the kitchen whenever a door creaked. When she poured his coffee, he gently caught her wrist. "Who did this?" he asked, his voice low but sharp. Emma flinched and pulled back instantly. "It's nothing," she whispered, forcing a laugh. But Ryder's instincts, the same ones that had kept him alive in the streets, told him something was terribly wrong. As the night went on, he saw the diner's cook, Tom, glaring at her with possessive rage. Every time she passed, his jaw tightened. Ryder understood. The bruises weren't an accident. After paying the bill, Ryder placed a $100 tip on the counter and said, "You call me if you ever need help." He scribbled a number on a napkin and left it there. Emma just nodded, eyes full of silent fear. But Ryder knew that fear wasn't of him. That night, he couldn't sleep. The image of her bruised arms haunted him. He'd lived a violent life, but seeing someone helpless being broken like that, it didn't sit right. He made a promise to himself. If anyone was hurting her, that person would answer to him. 2 days later, Ryder's phone buzzed. A trembling voice whispered, "It's Emma, please. I need help." Without hesitation, Ryder gathered his crew. Within minutes, a convoy of bikes thundered toward the diner. When they arrived, Emma was outside, crying, her cheeks swollen. Tom stood in the doorway, shouting at her to get back inside. Ryder stepped off his bike, leather coat flapping in the wind. "She's not going anywhere with you," he said coldly. Tom sneered. "This is none of your business. Biker trash." Ryder's men surrounded the diner, forming a silent wall of steel and muscle. "You made it my business when you laid a hand on her," Ryder replied. Tom lunged forward, but before he could strike again, Ryder blocked him, gripping his arm tightly. His voice dropped, calm but deadly. "Touch her again, and you'll regret ever being born." The sheriff soon arrived, expecting chaos, but what he saw stunned him. The so-called outlaws stood protectively around Emma, while the respectable cook was exposed as her abuser. When the truth spread, the town was divided. Half expected Ryder's gang to destroy the diner, but instead they repaired the broken window Tom had smashed earlier, and left quietly. Weeks passed, and Emma began working at a new cafe, this time with confidence. Ryder often stopped by, quietly sitting at the corner table, never pushing, never flirting, just making sure she was okay. She started to smile again, her eyes brighter each day as word spread that the Steel Wolves weren't just rebels, they were protectors. They helped fix bikes for free, donated food to shelters, and even escorted women home from night shifts. Ryder didn't care what people thought anymore. His actions spoke louder than any rumor. That one afternoon, Emma approached Ryder with a small smile. "You saved me," she said softly. He shook his head. "No, you saved yourself. I just stood behind you." Months later, when the town held its first charity ride for domestic abuse survivors, Ryder led the parade, with Emma riding on the back of his bike, holding on not in fear, but in freedom. The man once called a monster had become the town's guardian angel. And the bruised waitress? She found her wings again. If you believe kindness can come from the most unexpected hearts, share this story. Because sometimes the roughest souls carry the purest hearts.